Hey, it's your professional sarcastic man and seeker of attention host Chris here with a review on Detective Comics number 1000. 1000 issues of Detective Comics. You've made it. So, I got the standard cover, that's to review. I got the covers that I like, so the 30s Steve Rude cover, got the 50s Michael Cho cover, and I got my LCS's store exclusive cover. So, let's get into it. I kind of slightly cheated a bit and I already read this before I picked this up. I was given a, I got a digital copy to read because I knew this was going to take up a lot of time to read beforehand, and I had quite a lot to read and review. So, starting off with Batman's Longest Case by Scott Snyder, art by Greg Capullo, coloring by FCO Placencia. So this is a story about one of the longest cases that Batman has been on, almost as long as he's been Batman. He's been trying to find this case, and so it's a detective story, very, very fitting for detective comics. And year after year, he finds more and more clues to this case until he reaches the end game, which is the Guild of Detection, a group of heroes and such that are all detectives. So you have Detective Chimp, you have Hawkman and Hawkgirl, you have Martian Manhunter, you have the Question there as well, and a couple of others as well. They've been playing this long game with Batman to see if he can finally figure it out and to include him as a member of the guild. So, like, overall, it's a nice showcase of Batman being a detective. So 4 out of 5 for the story, art by Capullo and coloring by Placencia. 4 out of 5, really good art, really good coloring. So on to the next story, which is by Kevin Smith. It's about a man named Malone who goes to a collector who sells weapons and guns or equipment owned by the various rogues gallery of Batman, but he's after one particular one. He's after Joe Chill's gun, the gun that took Bruce and Martha Wayne's life. And at the end of the story, Malone is actually Bruce in disguise. He wanted to buy the gun and not really add it to his collection, as Alfred says, adding that gun that killed your parents to your trophy collection, that's too grim, even for you. But he doesn't keep it in his collection. He instead melts it down and uses it to create bulletproof armor. So that was manufactured for use by Kevin Smith, art by Jim Lee, colors by Alex Sinclair. I really liked that. It was a nice sentimental story. Ironic that the weapon that pretty much that took his parents' life and also kind of Bruce's life as well would be used as a means to protect him. So on to the next story. Oh wait, I didn't really rank it. 4 out of 5 for that one. Art 4 out of 5 as well. So on to The Legend of Newt Brody by Paul Dini, art by Dustin Nguyen, and colors by John Caliz. This is about a henchman that has been used by various different Batman villains, so Harley Quinn, Penguin, Riddler, Mad Hatter, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, all recounting, and Poison Ivy, all recounting how Newt is the worst henchman ever. He always foils their plans, or he doesn't know what to do. The twist here is that Newt is actually the Bat family, there to purposely foil each villain's plans. So 3.5, it was a fun but simple story. Art 3.5 out as well, slightly above average art for The Legend of Newt Brody. So on to Warren Ellis's story, The Batman's Design, art by Jordi Belair, coloring by Jordi Belair, art by Becky Cloonan. So Batman goes to stop a group of terrorists from activating a dirty bomb, or several dirty bombs, and it goes through the process of Batman taking out each and every one of them. It's all planned in his head. This will happen here. This won't hurt them. No, this will hurt them, but it won't kill them. To the end where he's able to convince the last surviving one to let go of the trigger and give it to him. 3.5 for the story. It was above average, and 3.5 for the art. Art was a bit above average as well. So Return to Crime Alley, written by Denny O'Neil, art by Steve Epting, and coloring by Elizabeth Broadweiser. So if I remember correctly, this is supposed to be a sequel to a story that O'Neil did in the past for Batman or Detective Comics. So on the anniversary of his parents' death, Batman goes to meet Leslie, and Leslie is Leslie Tompkins. Leslie is not too happy with Batman's choice of what he's become. As she said, he could have created a charity. He could have been be more altruistic after what happened, but instead he allowed this grief and darkness to consume him. And it's shown, Danny O'Neill shows it very well when a group of thugs confront them, and Batman just does what Batman does, beats the hell out of him before Leslie stops him from attacking the last one. And he says, it's like, you feel sorry for them? And he's like, nope, for you. 4 out of 5 for this story. I really, really liked this story. Art, 4 out of 5 as well. Art and coloring. So on to Heretic by Christopher Priest, art by Neil Adams, coloring by Dave Stewart. So Batman finds the body of Tan Lujan, who is carrying a Bruce and Martha Wayne Foundation card. It's someone that connected to his past, specifically with the League of Assassins, and he believes Raish might have had him killed, but Raish didn't kill him, despite the fact that Tan Lujan is actually funneling defectors out of the League of Assassins, giving Raish a motivation to want him killed, but it wasn't Raish. Turns out it was his brother who blames Bruce Wayne for corrupting him, leading him to this way of helping people defect from the League of Assassins. Story, 3 out of 5. Is an average story. Art, 4 out of 5. I really like the art in this story. And on to I Know by Brian Michael Bendis, and art and coloring by Alex Maleev. So Penguin reveals that he knew that, or he figured out that Bruce Wayne was Batman. Not a lot of Bendis speak in this, which is a surprise. 7 parts, just him saying Bruce Wayne numerous times, etc., etc. So Penguin recounts how he figures it out and why he kept it a secret for so long. And apparently Bruce in this is Joseph Joestar. He's like, oh, I knew you were going to do that, and electrocutes Penguin and sends him away. 3 out of 5. It was average. It was a very average story. 3 out of 5 for the art and coloring as well. So on to The Last Crime in Gotham by Jeff Johns, and art by Kelly Jones, colorist Michelle Madsen. So Batman and his family, yes, not the Bat family, a actual family, Selena, Damian, and their daughter Echo and Ace, find someone, a copycat killer, but whoever they believe committed the crime actually turns out to be each of the victims. So they believe Calendar Man did it, but he's one of the victims. They think the son of the Joker did it. He's one of the villains. And at the end, Batman realizes that, everyone should spend more time with their family after an incident like this. And it turns out it was all a dream. It was Batman making a wish. As Alfred said, I hope you made your wish. And it turns out his wish was he wants a family. Story, 4 out of 5. I like the nice sentimental part to the story, even though it was kind of all a dream. What Bruce really kind of wants a family. He kind of already does have a family, but an actual true and proper family of his own. Art was 3.5 out for the art for that one. So The Precedent by James Tinian IV, art by Alvaro Martinez Bueno, and coloring by Brad Anderson. I believe this is the exact same team for Justice League Dark. So this takes place in the early days of Dick Grayson being Robin, and Bruce is a bit hesitant to keep him, to allow him to be Robin, but Alfred tries convinces him otherwise. Despite Dick now being an orphan, he's leading him onto a path that will slightly be better for him, as he says, as Alfred says. It'll lead to friendship, to romance. His life as an orphan would be much easier than the life that Bruce ended up having, and yeah, that's essentially what it is for The Precedent. It's a nice sentimental story. 4 out of 5 for that one. Art, 5 out of 5. Really like the art in that one. And on to the final of these short stories before going on to the preview for Tomasi's next story arc. Batman's Greatest Case by Tom King, art by Tony S. Daniels and Joel Jones, coloring by Tomu Mori. So Batman has gathered the Bat family together for an unknown reason, and while he is visiting it's a flash forward and flashback. These parts where he's in the rain, flash forward, stuff with the family, flashback. So he's gathered them all together for one reason. He doesn't say, but it turns out they're there to take a picture as the Bat family. And as it's discussed, he solved the greatest case of all. He found his truth, the truth that he can be happy, which is kind of a slap in the face given who wrote this. Tom King, you could have given him the chance to make him happy, but you pussied out. And I will say, story 3 out of 5, but this one I've had a lot of problems with. One, I know the Bat family bickers with one another, but to this extent, just like Nightwing meets Damian, he's like, "Nice to see you, kid. Whatever this is, we should do it more often." I agree, Richard. That would be my preference as well. And Red was like, everyone knows this is about me. It's like, no one knows that. He's kicking me out of the family for what I did. Why can't it be about me? Why is everything about everyone else? Just, like Spoiler wanting to make out with Tim while they're waiting. Barbara and Kate arguing about their age. Also, why is New 52 / Rebirth Huntress a part of this Bat family? Pre-Flashpoint one was. This one isn't. She only really has a connection to Batgirl and Nightwing, not to Bat himself, not enough to be counted within the Bat family, so I don't know why she's in there. So story 3 out of 5, very average, very meh. Art 5 out of 5. That's the most redeeming part of this, is the art, especially this double page spread. That is a great double page spread of the Bat family and Huntress. So that was it for the main stories, and then we have a preview leading up to Tomasi's next story featuring Arkham Knight. So it's Arkham Knight talking about why he hates Batman, why Batman is as he calls him, a bad man. He brings out the worst in Gotham. Each of these villains that he talks about, he says that Batman embodies them as well. And he is the hero that Gotham really deserves and needs. He wants to bring justice to the Dark Knight. So Medieval by Peter J. Tomasi, art by Doug Mank, coloring by David Barron. 4 out of 5 for the story, 5 out of 5 for the art. Really good art. So overall, oh wait, this cover, 4 out of 5 for the cover. I know a lot of people said they didn't like the Gym League cover, but it's actually not that bad. The art on it is pretty good, and it shows a lot more than the Action Comics 1000 cover, which was just Superman standing in front of the Daily Planet globe. So overall, it had like 4, maybe 5 or 6 stories, so about half of it was actually good. The rest of it was kind of average. This was honestly the best they could do to celebrate Detective Comics. It was overall half good, half average. So an in-between there. So that's it for my review. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time.